production break here with the Bow Path of the Teal Lotus any percent new, no major glitches run. We've got one runner who's been running since the demo, and we've got another runner who is the 100% world record holder. So we've got super competitive running coming to you right now. Let's get that started.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Bow Path of the Teal Lotus, another run on day 2 of Multithon, and this race is going to be between two top level runners of this game. First off, on I believe the left is Mason. Say hi.
Hello, Multithon enjoyers.
And then on the right is going to be Nate. Say hi as well.
Hello, everyone.
And on commentary is going to be me, Sawayoshi. All right, and yeah, let's get started. And while I do that, that is a very close bid war, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about it as soon as y'all want me to.
Okay. Okay, so counting down. Are we all ready?
Ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll count down very quick here. Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So this is Bow Path of the Teal Lotus, a game that came out just about 2.5 months ago in mid-July of this year. It's a very new game. It is a indie Metroidvania by Squid Shock Studios, and this is very inspired by games like Hollow Knight, Ori in terms of gameplay, but also you see the art style. It's very it's a very Japanese art style, if I do say so myself, and it's inspired by the likes of, for example, Okami. So, and today we have a race for you all. Here we talk to Asahi on the right, who gives us a pot of tea, a kettle of tea, which gives us a new ability, which this will give us our Equinox Staff, our melee attack that we'll be using this entire time. All right. And now that we've gotten this, of course, it's a speed run. We're going to be quitting out and going back to the shrine that we saved at. And Asahi gives us a quest to pick up 10 bamboo. But we didn't get the quest, but he will give us a quest later to collect 10 bamboo. So we're gonna do it before he asks because we're so nice. All right, we save quit again to get back to the shrine, pick up one more, and that should be 10 total. This might be a bit loud. Okay, so now that we have our bamboo, we go back to Asahi, but on the way we see this little cutscene. Something is happening to that castle in the background, and it doesn't look very good. We will get back to that in about an hour. So now Asahi gives us a quest to get bamboo, and lo and behold, we already have 10 bamboo. So we complete the quest, and we get a tea kettle. This is our, if you want to use Hollow Knight terms, our soul in this game, our soul gauge. We will be using this tea in the top left where it says 8. We'll be using it to heal as well as use our darumas, which are basically spells that we get later on in this run. And one very important mechanic about this game is that these lanterns and anything that you can hit your staff on will give you a double jump. So we will be using that to traverse around. This is a very aerial game. You're not going to be really seeing either runner on the ground that much. Most of the gameplay is going to be in midair, especially combat. Combat is very much aerial because you just get faster attacks in midair. And one of those bosses actually is right here. We fall down here, say hi to Shimeji, and we're into the Kirikiri Bozu fight. where we will be just doing a bunch of damage. So one interesting thing, usually you don't attack this fast in this game. However, we have a little trick where side swings, up swings, and down swings all have separate cooldowns. So we'll be using that very often in combat. And Shimeji is like, thank you for saving me. Have a kettle of tea. And this will give us the bamboo bat, which is an interesting little mechanic. Anything that's glowing blue, you can use the bat to swing. You can swing the bat at, and that will launch them in that direction. Usually it's used in traversing like this with these armadillos, which they can be used to break these, and anything else can be used to break these blue walls. And all of a sudden, Mason got a skip, and that brings him in front as we head into Uzumaki Cave, where there's basically just a little bit of horizontal movement. If there's anything to say, this might be a good time.
Oh my goodness, I do have something to say. I have to say that we raised enough money to get that StarCraft milestone.
Let's
Just
go.
after I said it, the donation that pushed it over was a $200 donation from A Singular, who says focus on the real dogs, and they put that towards saving those frames. So that made that bid war a lot more competitive. Right now, Pet That Dog is still in the lead, but only by, and let me see if I can do my math right, only by about $34, and that looks to me like a possible snipe for those frame lovers. So if you are in chat and you love frames, and also if you love to pet dogs and want to see that lead extended, go ahead and type !donate to donate to Multithon Rivals 2024. Thank you so much for that donation.
Absolutely, get those donations in. We have bid wars. We have bid wars for the next couple of days as well, which will be opening up soon. And
I also wanted to say about the bid war, just real quick, that bid war will close at the end of this run, because it is for this run. So if you want to see your vote counted towards that, this is the run to donate towards.
Absolutely. And while I was saying that, we did get a new ability from Shimeji called the... this is our first Daruma, the Chomper Daruma, which we can send sideways and to do a long distance, a long range attack. And we can also press the button another time to make it chomp, hence the name, which will do extra damage. Overall, it does 5, I believe, staff hits of damage. And we also got a little thing called the, I forget what it's called, but it gives us the ability to awaken our Daruma. If we get multiple combo, if we connect a combo in mid-air, that will give us a combo. It will give us meter and will put our Daruma into the boiling state, which basically means that our attacks, our Daruma, are strengthened, awoken, and this will be much more important later on with other Daruma. For this one, it basically just makes the hitbox bigger and makes it do 1 extra damage. While I was saying that, we are currently on the Armadillo Collection quest, where we just go through this area, collect 4 Armadillos, and send them back to Shimeji. We do not need to be super careful with their with handling them. We just need to get them across and back down. It's literally all you have to worry about. Send that up. There we go. Mason is on the 3rd, Nate is on the 4th Armadillo right now. There we go. And once we come down here, Shimeji will say, thank you for saving my Armadillos. I'm going to give you the Shiitake, which is amazing. We will be using this to unlock 2 doors coming up here. One of them to go into a new area, and then one of them to get into the boss fight. Alright, and then Mason getting the Shiitake as well. And you see the double jump mechanic coming into play a lot here. You will be using the lanterns to get your double jump, and then using that to go on to the next. And you'll see it here as well. down slash on the object, and then just jump your way up vertically, and just make your way towards the next area. Mason using the shiitake for the first time, Nate using it the second. And we are heading into another boss fight, our second boss fight of this run, the particularly unmanageable Armadillo fight, where here we want to be doing as much damage as possible with the staff and the Daruma. Alright. What we want to see is 2 unawoken Daruma and 2 awoken Daruma, which we saw from Nate. We'll see what we see from Mason. That's... There we go, that's one unawoken, rather. Nate getting the kill there. And Mason looking pretty good as well. Alright. And you can also see these blue rocks, these blue highlighted rocks, which we can send on the Armadillo, which will just do damage while they are in this rolling state, while nothing else does any damage. But that's a fight done for both runners. We get the Eye of the Beast and some money, which is very important. And we also get a new ability from Asahi. Gives us the Lotus Dash. Of course, in a speedrun, you need a dash, and we'll be using it very much in this run.
I go fast.
Yep, very fast. And you already see Nate using it to his advantage. We have a little trick called a Shine Dash, as it's called in the speedrun community. A Shine Dash, which is dashing and then jumping out of the dash. Jumping out of the dash lets you hold your momentum after the dash is done, after you jump, for a little while longer than if you just let it run out. And this will become very, very useful. It is just fast. It makes up some movement that wasn't possible before possible. And it's just fun to do. And as I was saying that, that was a dodge of all time. Nate has picked up an Omamori, which is basically this game's charm badge system, where we get a prosperity and a strap to put it on. What this does is makes any Kitsunebi, Foxfire, any money in the environment, that any money that's from objects, from enemies that isn't from the environment actually, lets us collect all of it. It will just fly over to us like so. And it also gives us items like this Teal ore. While I'm saying that, Nate back into the forest of the Crimson Bamboo. Bamboo Forest going to be climbing up using this Shine Dash and using the jump coming back whenever you hit an object to his advantage. And of course, this Shine Dash can also be used with a mid-air jump. So we'll be using that a lot. Okay. And from Rozu here, we pick up the Usagi Scroll, we pick up the Initiative Omamori. We will be using neither of these today. Gonna save at this shrine. And off into a new area, into the Sencho Bridge. Here, the main gimmick is these pink candles, which take 5 hits to turn off, and once you turn them off, something changes. Here, we decide, hey, the candles don't matter, we'll just go under the door. Which is not as easy as it looks or sounds, but Nate gets it perfectly. And let's see how Mason does that in a few seconds here. Alright. Coming through here. Here we do have to turn the candles off. Whoop. Good movement. Alright. While Nate's doing that, left side Mason is going to be trying for the same skip here. 1, 2, boom. First try, very nice. First try skips for both runners.
Wow,
And
beautiful.
we'll see. Yep. Onto the boat. And using again those aerial shine dashes to speedily move across this bridge. And yeah. here.
Whenever
we
you're ready
have-
for me, by the way, Sawayoshi, I've got some stuff.
All right, give me a
Like
quick
to say.
second. We're gonna
No
be
worries.
using our Daruma to hit this candle through the door, and we'll be seeing Hashihime, which is a small chase sequence. And while we're doing that, now might be a good time.
Wonderful. It looks like our our chat is chasing that pet the dog option on Bid War because we've got $13 from Repuler who says there's still hope to pet the dog, and that also went to pet that dog. We also have $10 from Just Flaviot who says virtual dogs matter too, and that also went to pet that dog. And thank you all so much for your generosity. I just wanted to announce also we have a new milestone coming up for Amplitude VGM Encore. At the end of the Amplitude run, there will be a VGM Encore when we get to $1,400 on the marathon if we get there. So all of your donations are now going towards that milestone, as well as whatever option you choose during that bid war. Once again, saving the frames is not too far behind. So if you would like to donate and put your donation towards Save the Frames or extend the lead of Pet That Dog, you can go ahead and type !donate in chat. Oh,
Yep.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely make sure to choose the option for those bid wars. Everything still goes towards that milestone. And while I'm saying that, both runners are into the chase sequence. Nate just finishing it. This is a longer chase sequence where if you fall down anywhere into the water, you restart the entire chase. So if you fall at the very end, that's just 30 seconds off the clock. But looking pretty good. And Nate into the Hashihime fight, which has an interesting gimmick. You need to hit each of these 5 candles 13 times, except for the middle one, which needs 22 hits. This is an interesting fight. This fight was actually slightly, I believe, was it buffed or was it nerfed? I think it was nerfed, but yeah, it was slightly changed, and it doesn't really matter for speedruns because you're just gonna be taking it out this quickly anyways. Didn't even let Hashihime do a single attack. Alright, and here we pick up Awakening, Ink, we pick up Pyro-kun, another Daruma, which we won't be using. We pick up some money, fall down for good measure, and then we go into a little cutscene here, going into the city. Yep, sun rises, as it always does, and Nate, now that you have a little bit of time, how are you feeling about this run so far?
Feeling alright. I'm getting over a couple nerves, but doing alright so far.
Yeah, so far so good. Nothing really bad happening yet. Hopefully nothing does happen.
Yep.
Yeah. And as we're heading into this city, Mason, how about you?
Run's been pretty good so far. Just a few small mistakes have put me a few seconds behind, but nothing I can't take back.
We still have an hour left in this run. There's plenty of time to take back any lead that happens this early. There's so many places that things could go awry, and any of those can happen in a speedrun.
I would say the same for the bid war that's live too. Right now, it's ahead for dogs, including with this 25 donation from Crow Morbid, who says woof. And that also went to Pet That Dog, and that's putting Pet the Dog ahead by just a little bit. Once again, that $34 mark is still correct. But even though Pet the Dog has an early lead, we could definitely see Save the Frames coming back. I mean, it is the fastest option, so.
It's a speedrun event. You gotta choose the fast option. That is how I see it. All right, going through Sakura City, we see Nate going in. And here we have a bit of a fetch quest. The librarian, who we haven't met yet, tells us to get these stone tablets. So we're going to be collecting those from each shop, each merchant that's in here. First, we just pick one up at the tea shop, and the ramen shop wants you to eat at have 1 bowl of ramen, and that will give us the tablet. And here in the blacksmithery, or however, whatever you call it, we clean up the area, pick up a tablet, and while we're doing that, Mason actually taking a quick, taking a different path going into the Daruma shop. First, we use the Awakening ink on one of the Daruma. We'll see Nate doing this right here as well. Awaken our Chomper, and what this does is it makes our Daruma constantly in the awoken state that we saw earlier, the two-eyed awoken state. And when our kettle is boiling, it goes into the third eye awakened state, which is an even more powerful state that gives us more not diversity. It gives us a lot more ways to use the Daruma. And right now, the Chomper Daruma just becomes constantly chopping, so you don't have to hit it a second time. And it also does a little bit more damage. And Nate finishing off this quest right now. The tablet fragment, we've gotten all 5. And the librarian will give us will teach us a new language telepathically, because that's how you learn new languages. What this does is this unlocks a fast travel ability that we'll be using later on in a few minutes here, excuse me. Now that that's done, we save quit, go back to our save point that we took a little bit earlier. Back to Megumi Mountain, and this is our next area that we want to go to. Alright. Here are the gimmick that we see right now. These angry lanterns will not let you hit them until until you freeze them with a snowball. And once that happens, you get either a timer or 3 hits to climb up. And that's what we will be using to traverse this area. And we see Mason as well getting the Vermilion Stranger quest done. And Nate on his way over to the rest of Megumi Mountain. We have a little town here that we'll be completely ignoring. We'll take this save just in case. Climb up. Mason just barely getting up there before the lantern runs out of time. And here we have a little bit of an arena on Nate's end on the right side. The Daruma. We have 3 waves, and we'll be basically using the Daruma to start off each one. Alright. There we go. Alright, and we just use that and clean up the rest of them. Alright. And we're on 1 health, no matter, we have a save point here. And we'll be climbing up this left side. We did do a little bit of a skip that you're going to see on Mason's screen right now. This skip skips 1 entire ability that to get up here. We usually have a grappling hook ability that we use, but no fear, we have speedrun skips. In this household, we stand speedrun skips. Okay. And there we go. Nate done with that arena. Mason on the last wave as well of his. We pick up the scuffed Goombai and then save quit out. This will give us, or rather, this is a quest item that will help us in the area that we are heading towards right now. Mason just gets to the save point, the save shrine, while Nate departs. We have a little bit of a quest here. Toshi says, "Hey, do you want to train with us?" Or do you want to train with me specifically? And so we say yes. And that brings up these little dummies. We will hit them in mid-air because we can fly. We don't have wings like beetles do, but we can still fly because we have a staff and speedrun strats. And that's all we need to fly. Mason on 1 health, not an issue. And usually here you would use the snowballs to freeze the lanterns, but we can also just downswing on them, and that will give us our double jump, and that's all we need to do. It also is a little bit faster, just because we don't have to wait for the lanterns. Alright. And here, Nate is into the sumo arena, where the rules are, you see the two little icons on the bottom of the screen. The first one to get to the very right wins, and they move to the right when you are within this circle. So you basically want to be staying within the circle and keeping the beetles out, the beetle sumo wrestlers out. Mason as well, climbing up with these snowballs. Boop. Boop, boop. There we go. There is not a lot to talk about because this is you just stay in the ring and then win. And we have another one of these later, so we have quite a bit of time if we have anything to say.
Absolutely. Well, chat, if you've been enjoying what you've been seeing, and I know I have, this game is absolutely gorgeous and looks like a ton of fun to play. Well, I have some really, really good news for you. That is that when you donate to Multithon Rivals 2024, you are automatically entered to win our sweepstakes to win a copy of some of the games featured at this marathon, including this one, Bow, Path of the Teal, Lotus. We are giving away copies of Fae Farm, Bow, Path of the Teal, Lotus, Hi-Fi Rush, and a combo pack of Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion and Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. Tune in every day this week to see all the games in action. You can also find more details by typing !prizes or !sweepstakes in chat. So that means that when you donate, which those donations can go towards a bid war option of your choice, as well as the open milestones, like the Amplitude VGM Encore one that's open right now, and also our 5K donation total for the entire event goal. If we get that, we get to name a real-life puppy, by the way, a real-life puppy, who is going to be a service dog from Blue Path, which is, of course, the charity that we are benefiting here. You also get entered to win the sweepstakes, and you might get to win this this game for for yourself, and you get to play it on your own. Follow along with the runners.
All of those games sound like so much fun. I still need to play the Turnip Boy series.
I absolutely love watching Turnip Boy. We are going to see Turnip Boy on the final day of this marathon. There's so many amazing games on the schedule. !schedule will get you more of that.
Yeah. And while we're talking about that, we are into the Yokozuna-sen, the Yokozuna fight, where we will be using this Kendaruma to do so much damage. It does a total of 16 staff hits per use, as long as it is awakened, which is significantly more than twice the amount that the Chomper Daruma does. It is just a matter of, it does take a little while for all that damage to get in because it is 1 staff hit per tick. It just has 16 ticks. But Nate doing very well in that fight, getting the Kabuto wings, picking up the Awakening Ink, picking up a little bit of money. We'll see how Mason does in this fight. There is a choice. You don't really need to use the Daruma. You can also just use the Chomper if you want, but it is generally accepted as faster to just use the Ken because it just lasts for so long. It does so much damage. And the Chomper also does. The Chomper has a faster cooldown, has less of a cooldown, so it can be used. Much more often, like so. Right. Getting this fight down. This fight can be a little bit tricky because, especially in the aerial phase, the Kabuto Yokozuna can just move around and float into you, but no issues there. And Nate is going to be using the fast travel to get back into the city. Once we get back, we will start backtracking through, or not rather backtracking, but foretracking. Just going forwards. I should just say going forwards. Okay. Nate is going to go do that. Mason is going to be going through here. We get the Kabuto wings, which let us fly. It lets us glide, and it also lets us fly upwards when we are in these updrafts. And we see a little bit of black smoke, which can never mean anything good. We go back to the Kabuto sumo, the building, and then it is in flames because who knows what happened. I will not be explaining the story. See for yourselves. Get those donations.
Yeah, enter that sweepstakes. You gotta play it for yourself.
Play it for yourself. It's a very fun game. And as I say that, Nate is going into a new area after buying a new Daruma called the, I believe it's the Jingu Daruma, which works a little bit differently from the Ken Daruma or the Chomper Daruma. Is a single target attack when awakened, and we'll be using that for damage in this run. Some runners opt to awaken the Jingu Daruma, some opt to awaken the Ken Daruma. It is very much runner's choice. And yeah, Mason's going to be heading in, waking up the Jingu Daruma as well. Just barely has enough money to do that on Nate's end. Mason seems to have quite a bit extra. Alright. And from here we have another fetch quest. We are going to pick up these music sheets. We need a total of 3. There's 1 in this big room, and then 2 on a path from here. On a straight in Metroidvania sense line. And you see Mason here on the left doing a little bit of safety, getting an extra health, which is something that Nate has opted not to do. We'll see how that pans out in this run. Alright, Nate getting that second music sheet. We have 1 more. And we did see Nate saving at that shrine, which will become very, very important later on. Alright. Come down here. And there we go, music sheet, save, quit out. And we go back to the shrine we just saved at. Amazing, just getting into Midori Forest. And why are we doing this? We want to save Asahi, who gave us the tea, who was a very, very nice person at the very beginning of the game. Gave us the tea to give us our attack, as well as the Lotus Dash tea. So we're like, we'll help. Mason getting an awkward angle with that seed. And yeah, we see Nate doing a little glitch. I'll explain this a little bit later on. Alright. Mason getting the music sheet, and Nate getting the grappling gun. Our grapple ability, which will let us grapple onto the red lanterns that we've been seeing, which are on screen on Mason's screen right now, actually, as well as some enemies, some other environmental objects. It will become a very, very useful movement ability, and required for this run, actually. Alright, we see Nate also picking up 1, I believe, yeah, Crystal Mud Petal, which will be a special tool that will come in handy later. A surprise tool, etc., etc. Do a quick little skip. Whoop, not quite gonna make it up. Right, yeah. Just gonna take a seed over. Much nicer thing to do. And we have a escort sequence where we just have to get rid of any obstacles that are in the way. Hitting the lantern that the fox on the front, the kitsune in the front is holding, will make them move a little bit faster, so we want to be doing that as much as possible. And if you look at Mason's screen right now, we'll see on the left, as we pick up the grappling gun, what Nate did earlier. We're going to talk to this person a second time, which gives us control during this cutscene. We talk to Asahi while he is down, which will give us some tea, and while while this person on the right is doing the flute things, shakuhachi things, we will just be drinking the tea before Asahi wakes up and then leaving. Asahi gives us some tea while being out of commission, which is, I think, somewhat funny. Okay. While we're doing that, Nate completing the escort and then just returning to the menu because we do not need to actually see the end of the escort. We just have to escort them and then leave. There is no reason for us to stay. And we'll be going up here. Very nice movement. Coming down. And these enemies, their heads will turn into battleable objects, so we'll be using those to break this floor. And we'll hopefully be seeing another little skip here. We can see Nate going to be going down, using the wings, dash, shine dash, and using the Kendaruma. Amazing. The Kendaruma, as we are seeing right now, can be used in combat. It can also be used as a platforming tool, because we can just use that to... What is it? We can use the Kendaruma and pogo it with a down slash, and that'll just give us our dash back and also move us upwards a little bit. We'll be using that very, very often, especially in the later parts of this run. Alright. Mason going through the escort. Nate going to be saying hi to Mochi, taking the shrine to the left. And we'll be getting another new ability. We'll be getting the, I believe, mallet dive, question mark? I don't remember the names quite. The Tsuki Dash, apologies, this is a different ability. We'll be getting the Tsuki Dash, which gives us an invincibility window at the beginning of our dash. And also lets us go through these pink walls. These pink walls of Mochi that Mochi set up, because Mochi sets up Mochi and Mochi. Okay. We'll be moving through. And we are into the Kitsune Buros. We have a little quest that Mochi gives us. We have to get rid of the spider nests, I believe they're called, which can be done by hitting them with these egg bombs. And we, of course, speedrun. We're going to hit them from off-screen. We have a total of 3, and 2 of them will be hit off-screen. That's the one that isn't. We still skipped, like, half of that area. And so we basically do none of these as intended, which I think is amazing and a very speedrunnery thing to do. And once we do that, yes, Nate is going to be getting... Now we get the mallet dive, which will let us break some floors, break some fragile floors, as well as letting us go through these little... I forget what they're called. Things where you make mochi. Mason doing this little skip, very nice. Gonna save quit here. We're gonna go back to the city real quick, just to get a staff upgrade. Will give us more staff damage. And then we are down into the deeper parts of Kitsune Buros. While we do that, we do have a little bit of time here.
Absolutely. So I wanted to remind chat of the charity that we are here benefiting at Multithon Rivals 2024. We are benefiting Blue Path Service Dogs, and Blue Path's expertly trained autism service dogs offer safety and freedom to families. A Blue Path Service Dog's primary role is to provide safety for a child out in public. The dogs are trained to prevent a child from bolting, either into the street or away from parents in a crowded area. They also provide children with much-needed companionship, increased social acknowledgement from peers, opportunities for independence, and increased levels of confidence. And so that's what we're doing here. Every donation goes towards making sure that Blue Path Service Dogs can continue providing their services free of charge to families in need. Also, I know chat loves dogs because right now, the pet the dog option on the bid war is still ahead by $34. So you can keep extending that lead if you want, or you can vote to save those frames if you donate to Multithon Rivals 2024. And also, of course, at the same time, help families in need receive a furry companion that will help improve a child's quality of life.
Every donation counts. Get those in quickly. And also, always save those frames.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's only $34 behind. That is just like this race. Absolutely snipeable and really close.
Absolutely. All right. And Mason is going through the area, throwing these bombs at the little spider nest. Gonna take another one here. And while we're doing that, Nate is going into the second half of the deeper Kitsune Budos. Very much red, very different from the green that we saw earlier. This area is very much infested with pests, and we will be using these bombs and whatnot to break all of this, as well as, in Nate's case here, lighting these lanterns. This will open a door for us. Go up here, and we have a suspiciously placed shrine. We're gonna go back to the main menu real quick. This will give us a refill on our kettle. We have 8 tea to work with. And we see Mr. Iwao up here, stuck in a webbed ball, which is somewhat suspicious. I don't know why he could possibly be trapped in a... We have a spider boss right here. Dorogumo is going to be a fight, spawn some minions, and also only has a hitbox on her head. There's 2 phases to this fight. We're going to start this off, and here we see the Jingu Daruma, Awakened Jingu Daruma being used to do damage. Dorogumo going to go up into the ceiling. We're going to be using the Daruma to do so much damage. It does 9 staff hits per hit. And it also has much, much faster of a cooldown because the Daruma isn't out for a few seconds like the Ken Daruma is. And using the wings to just stall in midair. Amazing. This attack, we can just dodge by going sideways and back and forth, and that is the fight done. That is how fast the Dorogumo fight can be done if you're speedrunning. If you're not speedrunning, it can take upwards of 4 to 5 minutes. Okay.
Makes a difference.
It makes quite a bit of a difference. We pick up a Omamori strap, which will be used later. And once we do that, we have a little bit of a quest to get Iwao back to the surface. If we let Iwao take a hit anywhere to any of these enemies, any of their attacks, any of the spikes, we start at the beginning of the escort mission again.
Oof.
And a little fun fact, this Iwao that we are helping escort right now is the groom to the bride that we escorted earlier. And we will be not officiating, but we will be there for a wedding that they have planned for today, but neither of them could actually get there in time. How do both the bride and the groom not make it in time? They are a match made in heaven.
I was just about to say they need escorting. They're both late. Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect for each other. While we're doing that, Mason making his way through the area. Gonna have to climb back up here. And Nate watching this ceremony, and they're like, "Oh, I got this for Fumie, but you should have this." And Iwao gives us the Kitsune Kifuda, which will come in very, very handy later on. Of course, the one item that he found and wanted to give to his fiancée, well, he just gives it up and gives it to us instead, because what good husband would not do that, right? And as we say that, we're going to save quit and warp back to the mountain and head to the ice caverns area. However, while we're doing that, Mason going into the fight, we'll see how well this fight goes against Dorogumo. I believe both Mason and Nate going to be using the Using the Jingu Daruma here. Yep, we see it equipped. And Mason going to be going up to these bombs and then breaking these nests to the side, which will just make it so that these enemies don't spawn. These enemies to the side don't spawn. On Nate's end, he just made the phases go quick enough that they refuse to spawn anyways. Right. Using the Jingu Daruma to do damage. There we go. Doing so much damage. 2 health would be 1 without the safety health upgrade. All right. That hand is just waiting there menacingly. Gonna end up a bit of a waste, but going through this and going to take the safety, go down and back through these fire pillars, and that is going to be the shield back, which needs to be broken with one of these egg bombs at the top. If we can actually grapple onto those. Sometimes the grapple is not quite cooperative in this game. We runners try our best. Right. Gonna take a heal there, yeah. Grapple up, throw the bomb, and that should be the fight done, I think. 1 health. Not quite. We still have a little bit more damage to do. So a little bit
close.
Scary, but yeah, we'll see. There's another. That's another shield, and yeah, that is Mason going to be taking a very bad death. That one hurts. That one's quite a bit of time lost, but yeah, we're gonna take the save quit. We're gonna get some more. Once again, get some more tea in our kettle, full tea in our kettle, and go back into the fight. While we're doing that, Nate going through the west trial of the ice caverns. We just need to do this platforming segment. It is very, very easy to take a death here, as I do very often in my runs as well. Gonna be going up through here, through this area. These I don't know what they're called, spinning spike things, they will act as a hazard and not as a quick one hit. So you want to avoid them as much as possible if you don't want to get thrown back to earlier in the room. Alright, going up, and that is the West Trial platforming part completed. And from here we have a boss fight with the Tengu. Meanwhile, Mason on his second try on Jorogumo. Looks like it's going a little bit better in the second phase. Alright. Nate going into the Tengu, the solo Tengu fight, and using that Daruma, using that Jingu Daruma to get so much damage in. Of course, 9 damage per hit once again. With the staff upgrade, it's much closer to 6, but it's still a lot of damage to work with. Mason getting that fight done. And yeah, that is a very quick fight for Nate. Through the West Trial, we're going to head into the East Trial in a little bit. We do want this Feather Key, and we also want the ability that Ushi gives us here. We drink our tea for the first time in roughly 10 minutes. While Mason is doing this escort, we get a new ability called the Ice Picks. This will finally give us our wall jump, wall grab, our wall climb, which you don't usually see in these sorts of games. The wall climb is very, very fast, and we'll be using it as much as possible in this run. Alright, and we're heading into the East Trial, where this wall climb is required. The West Trial, excuse me, had an updraft the entire time. The East Trial, I'm getting my directions mixed up, does not. So we need to be using this this wall grab, wall climb very, very often. That's a movement that I've never seen before. I should start doing that. Okay. And we'll be grappling this enemy. This respawn hurts quite a bit. You get moved quite far back and have to go through this ice spikes again. And I do like this section where you just dash across over and over and use the wall grab, the wall climb to get up. Grapple through these. I'm going to be climbing up the right side of the wall. Mason getting the Kifuda, which will be useful for Nate in roughly T-3 minutes, question mark? Maybe 4.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Just that the Kifuda was going to be coming in handy pretty soon here. Alright, and yeah, Mason going to be warping back to Megumi Mountain. Nate going to be going up, and yeah, that hurts a little bit. Not a big deal. Going back up. And using these umbrella lantern things to climb up here. While doing that, Mason going down towards the ice caverns. Hit this lever, go back, and we through this updraft, through this hole. We have a little dive floor here. Nate taking a little bit of damage, a little bit worrying. Health, 2 health is not what you want to be seeing here. 1 health is less what you want to be seeing here, but let's see how this goes. Climbing up. Ow, that's 1 health. No, and no T to heal with. It's a little bit scary, but well, it should be fine. Going through this little up and down area. A little bit scary on the snowflake at the top. Once we get through here, we'll see what happens. Not taking the safety shrine. Just gonna go into the boss fight. If you do lose to this boss fight, attempt it. If you do lose to this boss fight, that is a pretty big loss. It might be a chance for Mason to come back. This is roughly, I think, a 2 to 3 minute time loss situation if we do see that. Alright. There is plenty of healing opportunity in this, though. We'll see if Nate takes that. Yep, we see 1 heal there. 2 health is much nicer on the headspace than 1 is. Alright. And of course, we're going to be continuing to use this Daruma. Yeah, and dodge that, and don't have enough T for a heal. Just gonna keep doing that. And we do get a heal in. There we go. 2 much nicer than 1. We'll be continuing to use the Jingu Daruma to get so much single target damage, and that is that fight done. A little bit scary, but we made it through, and that's all that matters.
Very nice.
Alright. Get the feather key, and we're into the main boss of the ice caverns very soon here. Meanwhile, Mason going up into the first Tengu fight. We'll see how that goes. Ushi, as always, gets frozen. We're going into that. In the meanwhile, Nate going to be putting the 2 feather keys into the main door in the ice caverns, and this will open this door and give us access into the main hall, where we find both I believe Soku, Koku, and the Daitengu. Of course, there's 3 of them. You know what that means? 3 on 1. This is the Tengu trio fight. And I really like this fight. We'll see how it goes here. Using, of course, the Daruma to get damage in again. Using the wings to stay in midair. Again, like I said, all these boss fights, and this is one of those boss fights where it is very prominent. You're going to be staying in midair for a lot of it. You see the Daitengu up in the middle there. We're going to be doing damage to both Tengus at once. Get that. Boom. and dive at the same time as the Daitengu. That does plenty of damage. A hefty amount. Mason having no trouble with that fight, getting the ice picks. And Nate going through this fight. 1 health is a little bit scary. Yeah, just gonna take the quick dodges. Take a quick heal. See if that... Yes, gonna make it in time. And that is the fight done. Very well done.
Ooh.
A little bit scary, but completely fine.
Totally wasn't holding my breath or anything.
Yep. And what that lets us do is, we get a quest from the Daitengu, which says, "Hey, bring me the Kitsune Kifura." That might help against the Gashadokuro. So what we do is we bring the Kifura with us. We're so nice. We're doing all these quests for everyone before they even say them to us.
Oh, amazing.
Very nice. All right.
Speaking of nice, I've got a donation if we've got the time. Fantastic. We've got $43 from Just Flavio YT, who says, perhaps ominously, hee 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 hee. And while that donation did not go to either of the bid war options, I'm choosing to believe that it is an ominous message from the frame savers lurking in the shadows, because we are looking up, we do not have a whole lot more time on that bid war, everybody. We have got to decide whether we're petting that dog or saving those frames pretty soon. And you can choose one of those donation options when you go into Tiltify to donate, to see whether our runners are going to continue going at blazing speed or whether they're going to stop and pet a cute doggo. Also, I wanted to say all donations go towards our milestone for tomorrow's Amplitude run to get that bonus VGM showcase right after that. So any donation counts towards that, and we are just over $200 away on that milestone, so you all are crushing that. Thank you so much for your generosity tonight.
Absolutely. Keep getting those donations in. We gotta save the frames. And I don't know if you saw what happened on Nate's screen, but I'll mention it again when Mason gets there. Alright, Nate going to be climbing up. The Sakura City has taken a dark turn. The moon is out instead of the sun. In the city where the sun never goes down. The sun has gone down, the moon is out, and so is the Gashadokuro. Basically the epitome of darkness. And we'll be doing this fight. We need to get 3 dice on the skull, and how we do that is we're gonna be getting 1, we're gonna be using the Kendaruma, and then we get stomped. And when we get stomped, we respawn at the very top. This is what we're going to be doing for the next 2 times. Gonna go down, back down, say hi to this enemy, take that, and then we take another stomp to the head, and this sends us back up, and that is a very clean Gashadokuro fight. No issues there. And here, the Kifura comes in handy again. We use the Kifura to stop the Gashadokuro, stop the dark energy within. And this will break this insignia. And the Gashadokuro loses its power. While we're doing that, Mason a little bit scary. 1 health on the Tengu duo. A little bit scary, but not taking the heal. Needs to play a little bit risky if he wants to catch up at this point. But yeah, not an issue getting that fight done. And only has the Daitengu and Gashadokuro left to catch up. In the meanwhile, Nate is going to be going into the Imperial Castle, which is our final area of the game. We have roughly 5 minutes, I think. Maybe more like 10, actually, until the end of the run, and that is going to be when we call the bid war.
Oh my goodness, it is coming up so fast. Chat, if you want to get in a donation for that bid war, now is absolutely the time.
Now is the time to get those donations in. Do it now or forever hold your peace. Okay. And Nate going to be going into the 2nd floor the elevator has stopped, so we need to juice it up. And how we do that is we get a crystal to the one of these crystals to the very end. Either that or just send a beam, a power beam into the elevator. Having a little bit of issues with that, yeah, with that double jump, but should be fine. There we go. Oop. Getting the, I like to call it a fake double jump. Some people might call it a BLJ, a buffered landing jump. And we're gonna be hitting this laser, and quitting out to the main menu, because hitting the lasers gives us a bit of early control, gives us the ability to save quit. Alright, and go to the right side where we just use the Ken Daruma right there to skip an entire fight. And there we go, taking that damage. Mason in the Daitengu fight has one down. Probably pretty close to getting the other. There we go, using that Daruma to get them down. Nate has juiced up both sides of the elevator and heading up to the third of effectively 4 floors in this tower. Mason a little bit scary on 1 health here. Gonna be taking it safe. Dive there. Use the Daruma. Not quite enough. We're gonna be seeing 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dashes, and just on the 5th, I was very scared. I didn't see which one it was, but that is the Daitengu fight done. Very nice way to close it out.
Wow. Very nice.
All right, and then getting the Kifida quest and using that. And meanwhile, Nate going to be going through the Imperial Castle, taking that respawn, heading back to the main menu, and going into, I believe, the right side of the 3rd floor. Swapping the Daruma for combat. We do not need the Ken for movement right here. And while we are doing this, pay attention to Mason's screen right here. You're going to be seeing a certain little character in the middle after these stairs here, very worryingly patting at the statue. Gashadokuro comes in and decides unalive. Unfortunate and sad, but do not worry, we will be seeing this dog later on in this run as well. All hope is not yet lost. Do not lose hope. However, we do need to get those donations in for that bid war to see which one you want to do to that dog when we see them again.
I'm not losing hope until the very last second. I know that we can save those frames, or we can be emphatic about petting that dog. It is really close.
Very close bid war. It is a $34 difference. One donation can make that difference.
It absolutely can, and it can get us to $1,200, which I would absolutely love to say to you all, chat. That would be a fantastic little milestone to hit.
A good little milestone to hit. All right. Mason going into the Gashadokuro fight. Nate going up the left side of the 4th floor. Here we have a little cool skip that we will be seeing. Nate, we'll see if he can pull this off. Very nice. Hitting those spikes is fine. We get a respawn up here anyways, and that skips basically 15 seconds of movement that you would have to wait for otherwise. Is it 15? It might be even more than that. Somewhat large skip. We're going to be going through here. A little bit of an aside about the glitched category for this game, the unlimited to the NMG that this game has. Recently, as of 5 days ago, there has been a glitch found that just gives you invincibility. So you can just use that to go through lasers and whatnot, and the current world record is just barely sub-hour, 59:37, I think. By me, by the way. And that is likely going to be outlawed in these glitchless runs, so today we'll be not using that. But who knows? maybe some other day, some other event, we'll see that unlimited run. All right, as we were saying that, Mason done with the Gashadokuro fight, gonna be using that Kifuda to stop the Gashadokuro once and for all. Nate, in this little segment, we need to hit this wheel 3 times total. And that's 2, and that's 3, and what that does is get this laser into this little receptacle, which opens the door. It does not quite activate the elevator. We have a little bit more to do. We're going to be hitting these mirrors 3-1-3-1 times. And running into it, that'll give us the early control. Can't send us back to the main menu. We have 2 bosses left, and that is going to be the end of the run. And while I say that, Mason going into the Imperial Castle, we haven't... I don't think we've seen any deaths from Nate so far. 1 from Mason, that's it.
Yeah, they've been playing really clean.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Pretty good run so far. The elevator goes up, however, it stops on Nate's screen, and we see a shadow of maybe someone that we've seen already in this run.
Ooh.
A certain character who may have given us a little bit too much tea. Mason going through
There's no
these
such thing as too much
doors.
tea.
There's no such thing as too much tea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no such thing.
Also,
Heading
no
over.
such thing as too much love to Blue Path. I just also wanted to note really quickly that if you've been enjoying watching this game, if you've loved this run, you can win this game by donating to Multithon Rivals 2024. It is one of our sweepstake prizes. Exclamation mark sweepstakes or exclamation mark prizes for more information on that.
For more information, yep. And Nate is going into one of the 2 final boss fights. We are up against Asahi, which this is a chase sequence, very, very akin to a certain mountain climbing game that is also 2D platforming. We will be going through getting 1 hit on each phase, and that will send him over later into the room. And this laser will respawn us, I believe, or I believe actually in a... No, it does respawn us. So we need to dodge it at all costs. We do a little bit of a skip here. We usually take out that mask mini-boss, but we will just skip it with our handy little double jump ability. Get 1 hit on Asahi at the top of this little shaft here, and that is 2 of 3 rooms done. The end of this room is going to be the end of that fight. Alright. Get that in. And hit this object a few times. Go below and get that hit on Asahi. We do need to climb up here as well, using that Ken Daruba to his advantage. Taking a very quick route up, but just gonna miss that very close. Getting that last hit, and 1 more hit to send him off, and that is the Asahi fight done. Well done. And while we are doing that, Mason going through the, I believe, 3rd floor of the castle as well. Alright. Take a save here. Take a heal. And we are into the final boss of this run. Time is not going to be for a little while longer, but the final boss, you saw his name at the top, the Sakura Shogun fight here, which is leagues harder than any other fight in this game, and also leagues longer. Not an easy fight, and not a very short one either. Recently it was changed to make it a little bit easier. Speedrun wise, it is a little bit longer, I believe. Harder to get as much damage in, but it is fine. We have this attack, and once we do enough damage, we will go into the 2nd phase of the fight, and from here you'll see many areas that you have seen in this run already. Here we see what looks like the deeper Kitsune burrows, and here the fight will be very aerial. The arena is very different from the first phase. You have these things to jump out of on the ground. You have the grapples to the side. But it doesn't matter. All we do is we just keep doing damage. And what we really want to do is, yes, get those hits in before that attack after the laser, because that gives the Sakura Shogun invincibility. We did get that done, and we're into phase 3, which is the same as phase 1. Each of these phases is the same as the phase before, as the first, third, and fifth phases are the same, except for this slash attack going to do 2 extra slashes each time. Going to be doing 5 now, and going to be doing 7 later. Alright. We're going into the 4th phase. Mason going into the 4th floor of the castle as well. This one is very, very reminiscent of the ice caverns. Using the Jingu Daruma to keep doing damage. And here we see these shadow clones. The one that is not miraging is the actual Sakura Shogun to hit. And we get that phase done even before the lasers, which is exactly what we want to be seeing. Into phase 5. Phase 5 is the exact same as phase 3 and phase 1, except for doing except for doing 2 extra slashes on the slash attack, which we'll be seeing soon here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Going to be dashing across the arena. Should be this phase done pretty soon here. There we go. Into the final 6th phase of the fight very soon here. All right. That works? I did not know that Daruma worked. Okay. Always see that Mason on 1 health going to be quitting out there. Yep. Very quick on that, on finding that Mirage. Going to be using the Daruma, and that is the last hit in the boss fight. Very clean, very well done. Not taking too much damage. However, the Sakura Shogun has one more trick up his sleeve, going to be using all of his remaining power to bring the entire world down with him. But Asahi's like, I'm not going to let you do that. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grapples. One last hit to end it all, and that is the boss fight done. Time is coming up pretty soon, and the bid war should be closed now. How did that churn out?
All right, if the bid war is closed, then we have our answer. We are going to pet that dog!
We are petting the dog. The cute
I want to thank Chad, by the way, for making this bid war so fun and exciting. It was a nail biter through up to the very end. There was so much passion for both petting the dog and saving the frames. So thank you all so much for donating towards that bid war.
Absolutely. And yeah, Nate here, petting the dog, petting the good boy. Petting the good boy, giving all the pets. And time is coming up as soon as we interact with the shrine at the top of this area. The dog that was stomped on by Gashadokuro earlier. Is this heaven? Who knows? And that is time for Nate. Jeez, that felt like a pretty good run.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, this is an in-game time to run?
Yes.
This game is timed in-game time. How did that turn out real quick?
I don't have life split up, so I don't know.
We will see in a few minutes here. But yeah,
if you want the IRL time, it was about 1:12, I would say 03, 02,
That's pretty
something
fast,
like that.
Isn't it? Alright, GG's regardless. Mason going into the final boss fights as well. The Asahi fight, again, this chase sequence, going to be using the Ken Daruma to get that dash and a double jump. Ooh, that was clean. Okay, actually, I like that movement. I'm stealing that for my runs. Okay, going back and forth up these walls. Using the Kendaruma again, getting that dash back. Going into the second room, getting as much damage as needed. One hit on each location. I'm going to be hitting these masks, and we see again this skip. We're gonna be using these fireballs to get up, get a hit, and then just skip up to the next segment. Usually you would take out the mask mid boss, mini boss, and that will give us a updraft to work with, but this gives us the opportunity to not have to take out the boss, which is a little bit faster. All right.
Wow, that's music, by the way.
Yeah, this music is amazing. The soundtrack for this game is so good. All right.
They're jamming.
Yeah. All of the music in this game is amazing.
There's also another game that we have on the schedule tomorrow with amazing music,
Ooh.
Amplitude.
Ooh, I mean, this sounds like good music even from the name alone.
Absolutely, and we are going to get to see even more of it if we get to that milestone incentive, which every donation goes to. We will see an encore, which will be about 12 minutes of VGM songs if we get to $1,400, and we are just about $200 away from that. We are super close, chat, so let's keep that love rolling in.
Yeah, get those donations in, all for a great cause as well.
Absolutely.
All right. And while we are saying that, Mason as well, going into the final boss, into the Sakura Shogun fight. We'll see how this goes. Has 2 extra health to work with. See how that pans out. Maybe starting off on the other side, and yeah, taking that hit just to get more damage in. Alright. And then Sakura Shogun going to be doing these 3 slashes here. Again, the first phase going to be 3. Using that Jingu Daruma to do even more damage. Get a downswing on this sword, which will let us get back up. And that should be the phase done. Yep. Taking a hit. That one was just an unfortunate hit there. Sometimes these unfortunate hits happen. Into phase 2, again with these grapples to the side. Going to be using the bat to do all this damage. And the one without the Mirage, which was just above, is the one that you need to be hitting. Using the Jingu Dharma. And that is phase 2 done. Very quick phase 2 done before the lasers even come out. Alright. Into phase 3. Going to be taking a couple heals here, yeah. Getting some safety heals. 3 health is not really what you want to be seeing this early on in the fight. We'll see how this all pans out. Using again that Jingu Dharma, getting more damage, doing that dash attack. All right, doing the dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is that phase done. All right, doesn't have enough P for heal here. Going into phase 4, climbing up this wall, climbing up the walls. And going to be doing Sakura Shogun going to be doing a burst attack. Gonna just take the hit there. And which one is the real Sakura Shogun? It was that one down the bottom left. And want to be doing enough damage, there we go, to get the next phase going before the laser even comes out. Alright. Get that heal in. Using all 5 of that T as we get into the phase 5. 2 more phases to go before this fight is done. Using the Daruma. There's that dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And yeah, that's looking a little bit iffy. Not gonna have enough T to heal. That's a little bit iffy. We'll see how this 1 health, no heal fight pans out. We'll see what Mason decides to do. Just gonna keep going. All right. If this goes well, you're gonna be done with the fight before the lasers even come out, which is the next real attack that you really have to worry about. There we go. Fly up. use the Daruma. Fight should be done pretty soon here. A little bit scary. Little bit scary. Just barely gets it before getting hit by the laser.
Oh.
Very, very close, but very, very well done.
That
In
was
that
so
high
close.
pressure situation.
Incredibly well done.
Incredibly well done. Yeah, time is going to be coming up in a couple minutes here for Mason as well. All right. We have a few grapples here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then one last hit on the final boss for the road. And that is the fight
Let's go.
done. Okay. We have a little bit of a cutscene here. Alright, and once again, that bid war, Mason, we are going to be petting the good boy. It's gonna be coming up pretty soon here. Asahi leaves a sunflower in his wake. The Sakura City sees the sun rise yet again. And we're gonna go in here. Dog?
Dog.
Mason?
That dog.
Pet the dog. Pet the good boy.
Where's the dog?
To the right here. There we go.
Aww.
Pet the good boy.
So sweet.
So many pets. Alright.
That is adorable.
Yeah. Very good dog for... Very good boy for a very good run. Alright. Get the ball on the top of the kendama. And here we have... We're going to be going up, riding this updraft. Going over to the right. These paper cranes can be landed on, but we can also just spam the wings to just glide over instead. All right, going up here. Time is going to be coming up very soon. And that is going to be time for Mason. GG.
Amazing.
Yeah, those were some pretty fun runs to watch.
Yeah, those were incredible.
Right. Yeah. And what is the final time on these?
For
real time.
Mason, the real time would have been 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 29 seconds.
All right, nice. 120 and roughly 112, 113, somewhere around there. All right, Mason, how do you feel about that run?
I died for one. Obviously, not ideal, but honestly, I really liked how I played that Shogun. That felt
that
good.
Shogun was scary, but it was so much fun to watch.
Very climactic moment.
Yeah, down to 1 health a couple times there. Yeah, GG. And Nate, how do you feel about that run? Very close. I see that 104.
Feel good. I was able to get over the stress a little bit in the middle of it.
Yeah, a couple close calls for both of you, but both of you finishing out the run very quickly. All right, real quick, before we do head out, Mason, where can people find you?
I stream on Twitch at Mace_SR very irregularly. That's where you can find me.
All right. Anywhere else?
No, that's about it, honestly.
All right. Yeah. Go check out his streams. Lots of bow speedruns recently. Nate, what about you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/NateAAAAA1. Oh wait, no, sorry. There's no one at the end of that one.
There's no one at the end.
Yeah. And then you can find me at twitter.com, or I guess x.com or whatever, /NateAAAAA1. That one has the one at the end of it.
That one has the one.
But that's
All
5 A's.
5 A's. 5 A's, 1 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you. And I'll do my entire spiel tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow running Atlantis no Nazo again in the nighttime, around 11:30 rather, PDT, I believe. And yeah, that's basically it. Sing yourself. I'll send it back to you.
Wonderful. You did a absolutely fantastic job. Thank you all for being here. All three of you absolutely killed it. This was a gorgeous and super fun run. So